In this video, you're going to learn what optimal going into all fours looks like, what non-optimal going into all fours looks like, and if you stay to the end of the video, a simple at-home exercise that you can do with your baby to improve going into all fours.
One of the biggest questions that I get is, when is my baby ready for all fours, or why can't they do all fours? It's actually one easy way to tell.
Welcome to Movement Lesson. Find our links in the description below.
Your child should have been doing independent sitting in about 5.5 months. Can your child come to midline, and can they cross midline in independent sitting and still maintain it? When you see a child that looks just like my doll and they can't come to midline or cross midline, I can tell you right now, at 5.5 months, your child's not going to go into all fours. At 6.5 months, your baby should be able to look for something and come to sitting. And they should be able to do this from both sides. They're like little balls and they roll up. This opens up the pelvis. So to get into all fours, they go from here and they cross over and they go into all fours and they come back down. It should again be this nice little ball that they're doing this, right? Even my little doll can do this. That's what going into all four is. When a child is just sitting here, they don't come to sitting. Where do you want them to go? So what you'll see, a big warning sign, is they'll either go straight through, go to their belly, and then they start army crawling. This is why army crawling is not a milestone, because they miss too many milestones, first of all, and they're not able to do it. They can't catch air. Another thing that you'll see when a child, again, sits like this, here they can't come up to sitting because, again, they get stuck. That's where the crunches start to come from. So instead of crunching, they'll roll over like this, and guess what? They're not in all fours. So then again, they're army crawling, or they're doing some kind of weird crawling, or locomotion, I should say. I've covered a lot about when your child can or cannot go into all fours. And again, just a quick review, going into all fours, there is not only coming to midline, but a crossing to midline from sitting to go into that. Right? Well, in independent sitting, if you're seeing a child here or propped, or they don't have really good head control, I can really guarantee you they're not going to go into all fours from sitting. They will roll to the ground and try and push up. A real easy exercise that you can do with your child is what I call clarinet hands. And so your fingers are free to do the notes. Right? There's no clam hands when you're working with your baby, because you don't want to restrict a movement. You always want to work on movement that they can create, right? So when you restrict a movement, you're not working on movement they can create, you're restricting them from doing the movement. That's where a lot of therapies make it wrong, because they're restricting the movement versus creating the movement. So what we're here to do is, as your child's looking, let's say the dog or grandma or whatever, the brother, then you're just there to guide it. Babies at this age do same. So if they look to the left, then it's your chest is crossing to the left. If they look to the right, just if they have visual stimuli. And if you don't have it, I'm sorry, I have my little skull here. Just have something there that they can be visually attained to. But you're just gonna, and as they move and do you're just keeping that same thing. You might have to prop their head. I have to do with the rubber doll. And you're just doing that. It's a really simple exercise. It can be done on your knee. You could be watching TV. You could be at a park. You could be at a church. Nobody would even know that you're doing therapy. It's just a fun little exercise with your baby, but that's what you need to get into all fours. So when you're working on the pelvis, guys, I know the first comment is, I can't do it because my child moves. Well, I hope your child moves. Right? That's part of life. I'm just checking out how her pelvis moves. Yes, her best toy is my face. You know, whoever's working with you, you know, you really have that. Now, what I'm doing here this whole time that I'm talking, I have a nice midline crossing through this knee. Not so much on the right. Now I'm countering. This is stuff I teach in segment 1. There she goes. And that's much nicer. See that knee cross midline? And now she's starting to kick more. But see how I'm just, a water bowl technique. You learn this in a lot of your simple courses or your big courses. And I should be able to just float her pelvis where her feet want to come up and her feet want to come down. Again, notice my momentum. It's just as smooth, the same speed here and here. But what a way to work on your rotational midlines. There she goes. See how nice that is? Thanks, guys.